Hey ladies, welcome to Monday Motivation here at Joyfully Present Motherhood Coaching. I am Samantha Ferguson, and today we are going to be talking about habit stacking. So currently I am on a family trip to a family Christian camp, and I'm in the laundromat doing some laundry. So I thought this would be a great time to talk about this, and I didn't know what I would be doing at this point when I had planned on filming the video, but this is actually a perfect example of how habit stacking, when you have habits in place, they create peace, and rhythms create peace rather than trying to add so much to your plate and you're overwhelmed. So obviously, packing up 8 children, being very pregnant, making a 17-hour trip to Florida definitely can be overwhelming. However, there are habits in place that I have instilled that have created rhythms that take the edge off of that chaos and out of routine things that, like I said, have created rhythms that make things a bit more peaceful than if I didn't have those things in place. So for those of you who have never heard about what habit stacking is, it is basically the idea, and it's exactly what it says, but some people don't know what it is and how to do it. So it's a very simple concept. It takes 21 days they say 21 days to create a habit. So habit stacking is when you create a habit and then add something else. I guess it'd be maybe this way. Add something else without losing those first few things. So why is it important to have habits in our lives as mothers? Well, one, because I don't care how many rhythms, how many schedules you have in place. As a mom, there are so many moving variables that are continually thrown at us that we have to have anchors within our day that keep things consistent. And so many times I hear moms complain that they can't do what they want to do, and I'll give you a couple examples in a second, but that they can't do what they want to do because something always comes up or they don't have time for it or whatever. And I'm holding my camera, so I'm sorry that it's kind of like bouncing. I'll try to not talk with my hands and be still, but that's going to be like super annoying. So sorry. I guess I could maybe set it up over here for you too. So anyway, like I hear exercise all the time as to why moms can't exercise. So what habit stacking is you create a habit that you do consistently for 21 days. That's the most challenging part, is because you have to be consistent with anything that you are adding to your life. You have to be consistent. Okay. And then once you are consistent with that thing, then you can add the next thing. But don't add the next thing and forego the first one. This is how we make progress. This is how we get better at things, because we're stacking what we've already learned and grown to do, and don't forget those things. Okay. So one of the biggest reasons that we want to do this is so that we can make progress. And as moms, back to those, there's always moving variables. So maybe your children, just seasons. Children grow so fast and their needs are constantly changing. Think about just within the first year of a baby, you go from an infant that can't sit, walk, do anything, eat by itself, is completely and totally, utterly dependent on you, to then in a matter of a year, they're walking and climbing and getting into things. So you have to adjust so much to meet that child's needs within the first year, let alone when they're entering school and they're learning lessons and add all of their extracurricular. Maybe it's, music lessons or sporting things or all the things, right? And it's so much. And that's just, we all know that as mothers, it's not just our children that we take care of as moms. It's laundry, it's cooking, it's if you have pets, if you have side businesses, you have a job, right? There's all these things that we have to juggle. And there's always something that's coming in and going out, whether you're going on vacation or it's Christmas. I know we're just coming off Christmas, entering into the new year. Those excuses of, well, I don't have time for this, or I could never do that, are all legitimate. They're all legitimate. But here's the thing. If you use them as an excuse, you're not going to make progress, and then you're going to be stuck where you're at, which is why I come in as your coach, is to get past those mental blocks of, I don't have time for this, I can't do this, there's not enough of me, all of those things, and we replace it with not only the mental work always comes first before the actual steps, which obviously habit stacking is the physical part that we're talking about, doing steps, but you have to control those thoughts, to surrender them to Christ, make them obedient to Christ. Hopefully you can hear me over the washers. I'll have to do some editing on this video to hopefully drown out the background noise. So you have to do that mental work first of, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. I'm going to accomplish today what the Lord has set for me and let go of the rest. So those types of things. And a lot of that is what we work on in my one-on-one coaching with moms. But back to the habit stacking. It takes 21 days to create a habit. Once you do that, then you add another one and you keep adding. And sometimes, again, as those seasons come in and out, like for example, I did kefir for about 2 years and I've just kind of gotten out of the habit. I went on a trip and I forgot to put my grains in the fridge and killed them. So I'm out of that habit of feeding my kefir grains in the morning. So there are things in your life as a mom that come in and go out, and we just have to be flexible. This is not biblical, but it's so true. The Beatitudes in Matthew, where Jesus is talking to a crowd, and it's known as the Beatitudes sermon, and he says, blessed is, all kinds of things. If you're persecuted, if blessed are those who are mourning, things like that. So anyway, we have one in it's not a Beatitudes, but whoever came up with it probably derived it from the Beatitudes, but it says, blessed is the flexible, for they will not be bent out of shape. So when you go into a season, when you come out of a season, give yourself grace and don't overwhelm yourself as you're trying to create new habits. Remember, the key of adding a habit and creating a habit, adding a new one, is to be consistent and make sure that you master that. And another huge reason why we want to have habits in our lives as moms is so that we can do things without thinking about them. Our mental load that we carry as moms is so much. And I described all the things, not just in taking care of our children, but all the home management and bills and finances and all those things. It's so much mentally. So when we can create a habit that takes that item that we don't have to think about anymore off of our plates, we're still doing the task and reaching the goals that we want without feeling so overwhelmed. And I really studied habit stacking because my personality is so all or nothing. So like, for example, when I would come to the Above Ruby retreats, I'd hear these moms talk about different topics. Maybe it might be on homeschooling or how to manage your home better or whatever. And everything that they were saying, it was so good. And I just wanted to implement everything all at one time. And then I'd get overwhelmed. I'm like, I can't do this. I can't do what this woman is doing. And not that you ever want to base your motherhood off of somebody. You can take ideas. God made you unique. He gave you the children specifically for you. He could have given them any other mother, but he gave them you. And the opposite is true too. He could have given you any child, but he gave you the ones that he gave you. So no other mother can do what you can do with your children, because God designed your family with those specific individuals in mind. But anyway, so it's good to glance and learn from one another. Glance at other people's lives and see what they do and pick and choose, not compare. So anyway, they would have all these good ideas and I'd be like, oh, I want to do this and this and this and this. And then I'd try to do it all at one time and then I'd fail at all of it. So I started habit stacking and those things stuck. Okay. So for example, and it's like this with anything new that I feel like I try to implement in my life, is there's this overwhelm of, I don't know how I'm going to do this. So anytime you start something new, there's that learning curve that you have to figure out how to navigate. So, for example, okay, sounds good. So, for example, when I started my gut health journey in Plexus, I was forgetting, well, first it was overwhelming. I'm like, what are all these different drinks and capsules, and when am I supposed to take them, and what am I doing? So I just, now I did there, I started what's called a triplex system. So there's 2 capsules and 1 drink mix that I needed to do. And as in anything, it didn't take me 21 days to add each thing. I added all 3 of them at the same time. But for example, the 1 capsule, ProBio 5, I needed to take at bedtime, and I kept forgetting to take it at bedtime. Or if I would remember, I'd be finally tucked in bed, and I'm like, oh, I have to go all the way down to the kitchen to get my ProBio 5. So I just put my ProBio 5 right in my nightstand. So then when I remember to take it, it was there. And also when I first started, I would leave things, and I still do this now. But in my bed, I usually don't do it because there's little hands running around. And if I would leave a bottle of capsules, they would be gone. So at least it's kind of out of sight, out of mind, in my room. But anyway, on the kitchen, I will set out the things that I need to take throughout the day, and then I don't have to think about them anymore. Each morning I get up and I put all of our supplements, all of our nutrition on the counter that we need to take throughout the day. And then as we take it, we just put it away. So then by bedtime, everything has been taken. So, but like I said, I would keep forgetting things. So the drink mix I started taking at lunchtime when I started preparing lunch. So now, like, I've gotten that excuse of, oh, I can't remember to take that stuff. Well, you just need to implement a plan that you can work through, and then you don't have to remember. It's just automatic. It's just what you do. So when I get up in the morning, I come down to the kitchen, I set all my supplements out, and I'm not even thinking about it. I'm just doing it because it's been a habit. And that's when I would do my kefir. So there were things I just did in the morning without thinking. And then, at lunchtime, I just make my pink drink before I start preparing any lunch, and then I drink it as I'm making lunch for the children. So things like that once you have that habit in your life, it takes the mental load off, creating more peace in your life, and then you're achieving the things that you want to achieve. And you can use this principle or these principles in anything that you want to start, whether it is a health goal, maybe it could be working out, or maybe it's something in your homeschooling journey that you want to start implementing. Maybe it's a read aloud or a devotion or whatever. And again, the key is consistency. Once you just get in a habit of doing it, and there takes some self-control and self-discipline to just do it. But then if you can get through that new habit, that 21 day, and it's become a habit, then you don't have to think about it, and it's just automatic. And then you can continue to stack things on top of that because you're not mentally so clogged up with all of these things. That's why habit stacking, instead of trying to do everything all at one time, is so much more effective than creating that overwhelm in your life. So I hope that encourages you today, especially going into the new year, when I know that lots of people are like, okay, it's a new year, I have these New Year's resolutions, and then they fall off the wagon because they're trying to do too much at one time. So pick something that you want to focus on each month, and work on that for that month, and be consistent with that thing alone. Let the other things go that you want to accomplish until you get that habit in place, and then add the next thing. So again, I hope this was encouraging for you, starting off this 2026 new year. If you are interested, I would love to do one-on-one coaching. It's so good to be able to dive into specifics of to what's going into your life. So check out the link below. I do free consultations, so I'd love to help you with that. And I have lots of freebies on my website. And also, our book club is actually starting when this video comes out. It will be starting tomorrow. So we do a new book, not every month, just based on the length of the books. But anyway, I'll include that link below as well. And I just want to encourage you moms to continue to strive to be good moms, to glorify God in all that you do this year in 2026. And I'm so thankful and grateful to walk this motherhood journey with all of you. So be blessed, and we'll see you next time. Bye.